So tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain on a criminal underworld that's, well, hiding in plain sight. It's a huge enterprise built on theft, fencing, and even international money laundering. But the currency here, it isn't cash, it isn't drugs, it's something you've probably got in your house right now: Lego bricks.
Okay, let's just jump right in. When you think about a rock-solid, safe investment, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably gold, right? It's been the standard for centuries. But what if I told you that these little colorful plastic bricks might actually be a smarter place to put your money?
And get this isn't just some wild theory. We've got the numbers to back it up. A study from Russia's Higher School of Economics looked at the returns over almost 30 years. Gold, it did pretty well, a respectable 9.6% annual return. The FTSE 100 stock index, not so hot, 4.1%. And Lego, an absolutely insane 11% average annual return. Yeah, you heard that right. Unopened, secondhand Lego sets have been beating out traditional investments.
So, how in the world does a toy become a high-value asset? Well, it all comes down to basic supply and demand. See, Lego only makes sets for a limited time. Once they retire a set, that's it. It's gone. Then you've got this really powerful force of nostalgia from what are called AFOLs. That stands for Adult Fans of Lego, who now have the money to buy back a piece of their childhood. Throw in those collector's editions, the big Star Wars or Marvel sets, and the simple fact that every time a kid or an adult actually opens a box to build it, the supply of mint condition sets gets smaller. So what it really boils down to is this: rarity is king.
But this is where the story takes a darker turn. Whenever any commodity gets this valuable, this easy to resell, and this hard to trace, well, a different kind of investor starts to get interested. The kind that really doesn't care about the building instructions.
All of that value, it was only a matter of time before it created its own shadow world, a massive and totally illegal black market. And here, we're shifting from passionate collectors into the cold, calculated world of actual criminal enterprises.
And listen, we're not talking about some kid pocketing a minifigure. The FBI actually has a name for this: organized retail theft, or ORT. This is large-scale coordinated theft from stores with one purpose: to resell everything for a profit. And as you're about to see, Lego is a top target.
And this isn't just some theory. Look at what's happening in Germany. Organized crime groups have gotten so good at this, they're hitting delivery trucks parked for the night. In just one heist, they walked away with 13 pallets of Lego, worth about 20,000 euros. We're talking about literal Lego gangs running professional-level operations.
Now let's bring it over to the US to see how this works on the street level. We're opening the case file on a man who the cops called the Brick Baron of Portland, Oregon. This guy basically personifies the Lego black market.
So how did he do it? Well, he was what's known as a fence. He had a whole network of shoplifters who would bring him stolen goods. According to court documents, when undercover cops showed up pretending to be thieves, he was more than happy to do business. And this is a direct quote from the filings. He assured them the Legos were easy to get and that he'd compensate them for whatever they could bring him. He wasn't just buying stolen goods, he was creating the demand for them.
When the police finally raided his garage, they weren't expecting what they found. It wasn't just a few hobby boxes. It was a mountain of them. $50,000 worth of stolen Lego, all in pristine boxes, ready to be sold online. And that was just one guy.
But simple theft, that's just scratching the surface. The unbelievable value that's packed into these little boxes, it's attracted a much more sophisticated kind of criminal. International cartels that need to launder millions and millions of dollars in dirty money.
The official term for this is trade-based money laundering. Now, it's a really complicated financial crime, but the basic idea is that criminals use the normal buying and selling of real goods to disguise and move illegal cash. So in this crazy world, a shipping container full of Lego Star Wars sets can actually be used to clean millions of dollars in drug money.
And that's what makes this so hard for law enforcement to stop. The criminals aren't creating brand new smuggling routes. They're just hiding inside the huge, legitimate international supply chains that we all rely on every single day. They bury their dirty money inside a constant flood of normal business, which makes it incredibly difficult to spot.
Okay, so let me just walk you through how a classic scheme like the black market peso exchange works. Step 1. A drug cartel in, say, Mexico has millions in US cash from drug sales. It's dirty, they can't just put it in a bank. Step 2. They give that pile of cash to a toy company in the US that's in on the scheme. Step 3. That toy company uses the dirty dollars to buy and export perfectly legal goods, like thousands of Lego sets, to a store in Colombia. And finally, Step 4, the store in Colombia sells all those Lego sets for clean local pesos, which then get paid back to the cartel. Boom, the drug money is now clean. It's been laundered.
And if you think this sounds like something out of a TV show, well, it's not. This is a real quote from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement about a real company called Woody Toys, Inc. Prosecutors called them the last spoke in the wheel that helped drug trafficking organizations turn their dirty U.S. dollars into clean pesos, all with toys.
So, with criminals hitting this from every angle, from street-level thieves to international cartels, you have to wonder, what are the cops doing about it? Well, let's take a look at the busts.
It turns out they're getting pretty organized, and you gotta admit, a little creative. In Seattle, the police launched Operation Mandel Organized Retail Theft. Yep, that is a Star Wars pun. And it was all aimed at taking down a major reseller who was trafficking in stolen Lego.
And the evidence they collected was just blatant. In a text message, an undercover detective asks the suspect, "What else do you need?" The reply comes back crystal clear. Lego sets, the big ones. I mean, it doesn't get much more direct than that. That's a shopping list for stolen goods.
And the scale of these operations is just mind-blowing. In one single raid in Springfield, Oregon, police found over 4,000 stolen Lego sets. The combined value? $200,000. That's all from just one single reseller.
So you might be thinking, okay, but it's just stolen toys. How does this affect me? Well, here's what the Springfield Police Chief Andrew Shearer had to say about it. We all feel the impact of organized retail theft through the increasing cost of items we buy for our families. This kind of crime, it ends up driving prices up for everybody.
And believe me, this is not an isolated problem. It is widespread. Just look at California, where recent task force raids have pulled in over $300,000 worth of stolen Lego. This is a massive criminal enterprise, stretching all up and down the coast, all built on tiny plastic bricks.
Which in the end brings it all back to you. The next time you're online hunting for a deal on that rare, retired set you've always wanted, and you find one that seems just a little too good to be true, it's worth asking yourself a tough question. Are you just a collector getting a great deal? Or are you, without even knowing it, the final link in a very long, very dark criminal chain?